Good. All right, Coach, your thoughts about joining the staff here at Indiana and getting running?
Well, thoughts about joining the staff. I mean, like I said, I know some of the guys. Heard a lot of good stuff about Coach Wilson. I mean, the staff that he's putting together is, is real good, and I think that we can do some special things here because of the minds that we have here, on defense, and the minds that you have here on offense.
And your professional experience, how do you think that'll help you in the coaching realm?
It helps me a lot, just because of the field, things have happened to me out there, so I can understand the pulse of a lot of stuff when it happens to a kid. I kind of understand, and that just helped me from my background, and also just from my background being a guy that worked hard to make it. So installing that same thing in the kids that I coach.
How does that help from a recruiting standpoint? Because you're able to say, hey, look, I got to where you want to be.
Yeah, it helps a whole lot. I mean, I can go into some houses and be able to, get some kids to come and play for me, and that's a pretty good thing. But also, I also tell the kids about me also graduating too at the same time. Even though I played in the NFL, I did go back and graduate, so that's one of my selling points. Even though you can go make it, but they can always take their football away, but they can't take that degree away from you. So that's some things that I go with kids a lot.
Corey, I know a lot of it going on, but what's the thumbnail sketch of what you've been able to see from, what you have to work with starting here with winter training?
Well, that's what I'm interested to see. I was able to see a little bit of tape. Like I said, when I went to Utah State, I had to do the same thing. Got a long way to go, but it's a lot little things that we're going to have to work on and get doing that. Once they get here, we're going to hit it going.
Talk a little about your coaching philosophy. What's made you the success that you are coming in here to IU?
Well, my thing is I've more technique. I'm a guy that works on understanding technique a lot because I believe in that, not just athleticism. You have great technique and then you have great athleticism. It makes you a great player. So that's been the things of just being a technician at what you're doing, knowing when your eye transition, knowing little things, knowing different formations, understanding what people can do to you. And so that's been my philosophy, in the coaching world.
How do you like the Bloomington surroundings so far?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's real nice. So looking forward to building this program to where it needs to be.
What do you think is the biggest positive for the program? What's the biggest challenge you guys have faced?
Well, I guess like everybody the thing is defense. I guess we have to build a defense. Offense is, from what my understanding, has been good. So building the defense is one of the priorities here.
You talked to your coach at Utah State, and you talked a lot about you being able to get those guys to play, man-to-man press coverage just because you were able to teach technique so well. I mean, is that something like you feel like you can more or less do anywhere?
Yeah, I do it anywhere. It's a lot of stuff you do outside of football to make yourself better by doing that. So, we're going to do that. Plus, our guys, when I was at Utah, we play good zone coverage too because the kids can be able to play anything. And that's my philosophy. You can play, technique and playing your zone concept, your match zone concepts, and your man. You play for me, you got to be able to do everything. You can't just be a one-way guy. You got to be able to do everything at a minute of a second out there.
This program versus where you were here as a player, is it easier to win now, or what's changed about it?
I think the investment. I think it's just, it always used to be Indiana basketball and then kind of everybody else, and that's not the case anymore. I think I have not met Fred Glass yet, but just looking at what they've done from a facility standpoint, from an investment standpoint, it's exciting. How could it not be? And I think, like I said, everything's in place. We have the resources to go out there and get kids that fit our program, that want to be here, that want to come in and win a championship, and that's what our message will be. But I think a young man comes to school here to be a student athlete and play football. There's a lot to sell. There's a lot to be excited about. Indiana University is a great school academically, and then kids will see the investment from the football side and get very, very excited about it. So I think the pieces are all in place.
How did Coach Wilson reach out to you? Give us an impression of your first impressions of him.
Well, I think it started with Coach Mallory, and I think that was a great move on Coach Wilson's part to reach out to Bill Mallory and make sure that he was involved in this whole thing. And then obviously Kevin bringing Doug into the mix. Those were two big pieces to bringing me back here. And like I said, Coach Mallory, you all know how I feel about Coach. And in fact, I stayed last night out at his house with Doug and to see Ellie again and just talk about the past. brings up a lot of great memories. And, so I think that was really it in a nutshell. I think Kevin reaching out to Coach, and then obviously Doug, and there were some other people we talked to as well, but those were certainly the two keys.
Can you talk about the impact that Joe Tiller had on your coaching career?
Tremendous. I think Joe Tiller's a heck of a coach. I've been very blessed, as I look back, both as a player and as a coach, to just be involved with great people. I can remember back in high school, Jim Belden, who ran a fantastic program at Carmel, and then obviously to come here as a student athlete and play for Coach Mallory, and then Joe Novak. I mean, you're talking about guys that I think the world of, and there's not enough of those guys in college football. But the opportunity to, even though it was the enemy, to go be with a Joe Tiller, who I think has got a lot of those same qualities as a Bill Mallory. So just tremendous. I've learned from all those guys in my career, and I'll use their philosophies, kind of integrate them all as I continue to go forward.
As you all know, the problem here has always been on the defensive side of the ball. They've always been able to score enough points. I mean, how hard is it to change that culture?
Well, we'll find out. I think I just know with Doug and Mike coming in and Corey, I know the things we'll emphasize. Toughness, both mentally and physically, physical play, effort, work ethic. I mean, all those things will tie and integrate into what we do on defense. And I just think it's a mindset as much as anything. And maybe these kids around here have heard about their shortcomings, for a long time defensively, and we just got to change the mindset, and we're going to push them, and we're going to get them to play physical. We're going to get them to be tough, and again, it's just it's a mindset that's not changed overnight. I think it'll be a day-to-day thing, but we're not going to waver from our philosophy, and we're going to get there. I'm confident with these guys I'm going to work with that we'll get it done. And like I said, I think a lot of pieces are already in place with the kids coming back. We went over the roster here this morning, and there's a very, very strong nucleus. You got a piece here. You got certainly have some holes to fill. There's no question about it, but there's a lot of pieces in place.